The IKEA desk hack is overly used and outdated, and I found its killer in a workbench from Husky at your local Home Depot with options to get shipped from other stores to your local Home Depot or the option to get it delivered straight to your home. We'll get into sizing, pricing, and why I think this desk option is the best in-game desk option out there for anybody who's looking to get something new for their setup. The IKEA desk hack is still a viable option, don't get me wrong. If you're looking for something that's bigger than 72 inches, or maybe you need something that has a little bit more depth, then again, the IKEA desk hack might work for you. But keep in mind, if you are getting a support leg, please put it in the middle of your desk and not towards the back, because that's not actually giving it all the support it needs, especially if you're gonna have PCs and monitors on top of your actual desktop. So with that being said, if you are planning on mounting your PC or mounting your peripherals or anything against a wall or something like that, then that will alleviate the overall pressure on top of the desktop, and you might not run into that bowing 6 months to a year down the line like a lot of people complain about.
But I think it might be helpful to some people that are thinking about purchasing this desk, the IKEA Colby, specifically the 98-inch/2.5 meter version. You might be a little bit worried about it sagging in the middle, especially if you're going to be resting it on top of some drawers like I have. Now, I've had this desk for over 6 months now, and it's been in an environment where the temperature fluctuates quite a lot. It's either always really hot up here or really cold. So, has it sagged? Well, let's find out. So when I got this desk, I did actually put a support leg in. The only trouble is, I was going to put it right in the middle, but then I tried pushing my chair in and it just wasn't going to go in. So I actually ended up putting it pretty much right at the back. Now, I don't know how well you can see this on camera, but if you look right here in the middle, you can see it started to sag a little bit. Now, I know I've got that support leg right at the back, but this part of the front that's not quite as well supported, yeah, it started to bow a little, and that's been after about 6 months of use.
With that being said, this Husky workbench can actually support up to 300 pounds. Right now I have 2 PCs on either side, and I have 3 monitors mounted onto the desk itself. Even still, with all that weight, this workbench can still rise to its highest point and go to its lowest point with ease. That's right, this workbench can be used as a sit-stand desk. Although there is no motors for it, you have to hand crank it. The hand crank is actually removable, and you can use an actual power tool to make it a little bit faster if need be. As long as your power tool is something like this to fit in the actual slot, you will be able to use that power tool to raise it or lower this desk. I, however, do not have something like that, and I still use a hand crank. I've had this desk for about 4 months now, and I've used the sit stand option of probably around 10 times. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, why wouldn't I just get a motorized sit stand desk? But if you watch a lot of content creators or reviewers of those products, a lot of them tend to lie to you and not tell you that they don't really use that sit stand feature a lot.
But you may ask, Andy, how often do you stand? Once a week. Sometimes I just get a little bit tired and sleepy, then I'll raise the desk, stand up, wake myself up, but otherwise I'm usually sitting. If you want to buy this, I do have an affiliate link. Please consider using my link and code in the description box below.
On top of that, a lot of companies actually send those desks out for free, so they're not spending the thousands of dollars or almost $1,000 on that sit stand desk itself.
Did you know that every time you see a desk video on the internet, the only reason why you're seeing that video is because the YouTuber wanted a free desk? How do I know this? Because I used to be that YouTuber.
So spending over $1,000 or almost $1,000 for something for that feature, just to have motors maybe be too loud or take too long, whereas I could just have a hand crank and not worry about any of that stuff. Again, I don't think you can really beat this option, especially at this price point. Let's talk about the price point. 46 inches is $229. 52 inches is set $279. 62 inches is the most expensive at $299, and the 72 inches is at $289. You might be wondering why the 62-inch is more expensive, and that's usually because that's usually the sweet spot for desk or I guess workbenches and stuff in general. So obviously if more people are buying that size, then obviously they're gonna increase the actual price point. Obviously after tax and maybe shipping to your local Home Depot, the price of it might go up. And having it delivered to your house seems to actually add on $100 depending I guess on your error code, or if you're actually going through Amazon, the price of it overall might be around the same price as if you went to Home Depot and have it delivered to your house. The option that I opted for was getting it shipped from another Home Depot that was nearby to my local Home Depot and going to pick it up in my '09 Malibu, laying the seats down and putting it in the trunk. It was able to fit very, very snugly, at least for the 72-inch version. Again, the 72-inch version is the biggest that you can get, and if you happen to get it into your car, I would highly suggest bringing at least one other person with you, and if they're not there, then at least have them at the house to take it out of the trunk, because that seemed to be the hardest thing to do when I actually brought it back home. After that, the setup was fairly simple. I do not have footage of me actually building it because of how much space I needed in the office. I had no way of setting up a camera, so I kind of talked about the building process and stuff like that while I did it. Obviously I took some breaks and stuff like that, but I can say the overall build process was actually fairly quick and fairly simple. The actual desktop actually has pre-drilled screws holes for the actual metal frame to be put together and actually put on top. It's impossible, literally impossible, to get the legs in the wrong orientation, because if you get to that process like I did and actually put it on backwards, it will not screw in right. The crossbar will not screw in right. So again, it's kind of idiot proof, and I'm an idiot when it comes to these kind of things, and I still was able to do it. Now, what I would say is after you make the frame, before you flip over the desk, actually run your cable management trays or anything like that, pre-install it, or light strips or anything like that, and then flip it over, and then run your cables through the cable management. Because trying to do it underneath, even if you're drilling into the desk, can be kind of cumbersome and take a while, and it's just easier to do it before you flip it over. A lot of people do it after it's flipped over, and again, just trying to help you out. With that being said, the metal frame underneath does not really intrude on any possible cable routing or management that needs to happen underneath the desk at all, even with two PCs and a lot of cables running. My only other gripe is that I wish the desk had a little bit more depth, but for all my peripherals and the two PCs, it works perfectly fine. For those who are looking up this desk, they might see some drawer options available at Home Depot for these desks or these workbenches. But I will say that it will increase the overall cost of this setup. And on top of that, if you do get the drawers, they might interfere with having your legs underneath the desk itself. So if you are getting those versions, I know some people use this actual workbench for, in the garages or in their workshop, or actually using it for crafting decks. I might actually get a smaller one, maybe the 54-inch version or wherever, to have in my YouTube studio out in my living room, just to make storage for items and stuff like that, camera accessories, etc. So you might be asking, what are some pros of this desk? I would say more often than not, one of the biggest pros is the fact that there's actually wheels that you can put underneath and get rid of the actual stationary casters. Each wheel can individually lock, and that means that you can roll around this desk. It actually comes with that option. So if you're on carpet, hardwood floor, whatever, you can still roll it around ease. In my apartment, I have carpet, and I'm able to move it away from the wall, add new peripherals, add new things, do cable management and stuff like that, and just slide it right back with ease, with no problem at all. Another pro I would say is having that sit stand feature. Again, I don't have a power tool to use it faster, but just cranking it takes about 15 seconds, 30 seconds at most. And again, I've used that feature maybe 10 times over the course of having it for about 4 months now. Not because it's a hand crank, I just really don't use that feature too much, only from time to time. So I am telling you, it's not going to impede your progress. It's not going to be irritating or anything like that, just to hand crank it or wherever. I'm currently 5'11", or actually 6 foot, and getting it to the height or wherever for me is perfectly fine. And it still has room to go up or whatever, even at that height for me to sit there and actually play and stuff like that. I've used it to play video games, sometimes edit standing up, but for the most part, I am actually sitting down. So still having that option being there or wherever is, again, already won over the IKEA hack. Having it on wheels, again, over the IKEA hack. Having it at this price point, again, 72 inches for $289, and I had it shipped to my local Home Depot. I went and picked it up myself, and it still was roughly around $300. That still might be a little bit more of an accent price, but again, this desk is going to last you because it's supposed to be a workbench, meaning it's supposed to be in an environment that's a lot of obviously workshopping, crafting, whatever. And if you're just sitting here at the desk and not using it as in a rough environment like that, then that means this desk is going to last you for a long period of time. And on top of that, you're not going to have to worry about bowing because there's a metal frame that goes right across the crossbar or wherever underneath the desk that supports the weight. Because again, this can hold up to 300 pounds. I have 2 PCs on either side and 3 monitors being my heaviest equipment that's on the desk. And again, it can still go all the way up to the standing height for me at 6 foot and go all the way back down with no problem, no issues. You don't have to worry about motors being too loud, the motors failing on you or something like that. Maybe the tabletop is not as sturdy, as strong. You don't have to worry about getting a frame and then getting the tabletop or something like that, or getting IKEA dressers or wherever. You can get the storage units on either side, or you can go get a 3 shelf unit from Walmart or wherever. It might not be right next to your desk, but you can still have it against an adjacent wall, like the wall behind me, and have a 3 shelf storage unit wherever that costs like 30, 40 bucks. And you can get those storage units at Walmart for like white, in colors of white, black, and I think some oak finishes and stuff as well. The overall cost, especially for me, IKEA is like 65 miles away. So I would already have to drive that far, and you know how gas prices are right now. Or I would have to get it delivered to me, which again, increases the cost because it's like $100 delivery fee on top of whatever items I'm ordering. So again, for this price and the quality of this desk, or turning it into a desk, you can't beat this. I don't know why a lot of people are not talking about this. I've only seen 2 videos that actually use this workbench as a desk or a studio desk or something like that. So hopefully this video will actually put it out there that this is a viable option and people should still, consider using this in the future. My only cons with, or gripes with this desk, is the fact of I wish the tabletop came in different colors, but again, it's supposed to be a workbench, so it's not necessarily probably going to do that. A lot of workbenches have this finish. Other than that, the frames on either side actually go to the edge of the desk, so if you wanted to clamp anything on the side of the desk, you're not going to be able to do that. But again, if you get a long version like the 72-inch version, then you're perfectly fine. People probably ask if you can put another top on top of it. You might be able to, just because of this desktop actually comes with pre-drilled like screws and stuff to attach the frame. So if you know how to do that and you're good with the DIY, good with doing those kind of things, you might be able to get away with a higher desktop. But again, just keep in mind that this is rated for 300 pounds. So that's probably keeping in mind the actual weight of the tabletop. So if your tabletop is longer, then it might have more weight obviously added to it. So you might have to deduct that over all the weight capacity of what it can hold. So just keep that in mind. But I still think that you would still probably be able to do that. It's just that this desk, like I said, comes with the pre-drilled holes to be able to screw the frame to the actual tabletop. But other than that, that's really my only gripes with it. Other than that gripe of the frame, there's nothing else I can really say negative about this desk. And again, I've had it for 4 months, no sagging, no issues with it whatsoever. Again, ease of use of moving it around. I'm actually getting this version, the same exact version for my wife for her setup in the future. But we got some holiday traveling and stuff to do, so we're trying to save money right now. I think that overall, this blows the IKEA desk hack out the water. Again, if you're considering what desk to get or what is the best option wherever for you, I highly recommend that you look at this first before you start looking at Ikea, especially if you're in a situation like I am, where Ikea is so far away that you're already gonna pay that $100 upcharge, and that you already gonna have to get the top, the legs, the support leg, or the drawers or wherever, and the support leg, and like I said, the top and stuff like that, and you're getting delivered, you might find out that it comes around the cost of this. And on top of that, it's not height adjustable. So if you wanted an IKEA desk hack with a height adjustment legs or frame or something like that, then you're definitely probably gonna go over the cost of this workbench. So again, for this price point, I understand it might be still a little steep for some people, but again, this is gonna last you way longer, I feel like, than any other desk out there, unless for some reason you find something or wherever that is a really good deal or wherever that doesn't have to worry about bowing or is really structurally sound. And I feel like the IKEA desk hack and everybody using it and spending way more than it would cost to get this, and it still have to worry about bowing or the weight capacity that you can put on top and stuff like that. Having those issues and spending that kind of much money just doesn't make any sense to me. With that being said, if you are interested in this workbench, I will leave the website link down in the description so you can check it out for yourself. And with that being said, have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces, everybody. God bless you and yours, and have a squidtastic day.